Growing up, we often visited my grandparents' garden, which was always full of various plants, vegetables, and fruits. While I don't have my own land, I've started a garden in my own way indoors. It all started with a baby rubber tree plant from my grandma, which now lives in the living room. Well, not my grandma, the rubber tree plant. And it has grown quite large now. And over the years, my plant collection has expanded significantly. So first, let me introduce you to one of the rubber plant's babies. It's actually called Ficus elastica, but it's also known as a rubber plant. I think it's a great houseplant to start with because it's quite sturdy and easy to take care of. It has nice glossy emerald hue leaves and it has impressive growth rate as well. You can propagate it and share it with friends and family too. And actually this tropical plant can grow up to 100 feet tall in its natural habitat. And indoors it can grow to over 6 feet tall, which is almost 2 meters. Next to my second ficus, the rubber plant baby, is one of my propagated pothos plants. This plant is also low maintenance, and this one is newly propagated and it seems to be doing quite well. I think the pot with the underplate is definitely helping, so the plant doesn't sit in the water or the roots of the plant. Moving upwards on the shelf, I have more propagated pothos plants. I found that it's not difficult to propagate your pothos by taking cuttings and rooting them in water before moving them into a pot with soil. I also like that it looks quite tropical and it hangs nicely from the shelf because, it's tropical vine. And you can notice that these two look quite different and they have different leaves. And it's because the one with marking, it's a golden pothos, and the other one with the darker leaves, it's called jade pothos. The jade one is quite new addition to my art studio or the office, so you can see it's not as long as the golden version hanging all around here on the side. Then on the shelf above, I have my tiny pink pots with a tiny cactus, which I bought in a succulent garden where I love to go and see what is blooming in a cacti and succulent universe. You might be surprised by the variety of cactus and succulents. I also had a nice purple succulent from there, but unfortunately it didn't make it. And I couldn't find the same type of succulent either in some of the shops in the area or in the succulent garden. So, those cute round ones. So maybe again in the future. And I also found succulents a nice subject to draw. So maybe one of the future tutorials can be drawing succulents. What do you think? Anyway, on the other side of the shelf, I have another baby golden pothos plant, which is still quite cute and small, also due to the small pot. Then on the edge of the table, I have a new addition to my ficus family, which is now enjoying hanging out by the window. And it will probably go to one of my friends because I have so many ficus plants at home now. And I'm running out of places to put them. When we move to the other side of my art studio, I have a second table because I like to separate my work tasks or type of the work. One table is for computer work, which is basically video editing of my classes and admin work. And the other side, the other table, is for drawing and painting, either with traditional media or working on my iPad, working on the new tutorials, client projects, or working on my new Procreate brushes. By the way, if you didn't know, I also have free Procreate brush set for you that you can play with, and you can find the link in the description below. Then by the window, as you can see, I have few big plants. So let's first talk about the big ficus tree. It's actually a propagated baby from the first ficus tree which I showed you at the beginning. And as you can see, it has grown a lot. I think it likes its spot next to the window. And I haven't mentioned at the beginning that the original ficus tree even lived with me when I was still studying in Denmark before moving here. Next to this big ficus tree, I have another ficus, but this one is a little bit different, and this one is called Ficus benjamina, which is also called a golden king. So they are both the same golden king plants, and these two plants don't seem to enjoy direct sunlight, at least what I observed, so I always close the blinds when it's too hot for them, because sometimes they even start losing leaves when it's too hot. And I have them in these concrete looking pots, which I bought because I like the design, but one of them started leaking, so now it needs another pot or tray underneath. So anyway, I need to find a better solution for these two, but it's nice that they are elevated, and while they are like higher off the ground, it feels more like a jungle to me when I'm drawing on this side of the table. So it said that one of the great benefits of having houseplants is the positive influence on mental health, and I definitely feel better when I work while I'm surrounded by plants. On the other side of the table is my Alocasia amazonica. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's also known as Amazon elephant's ear. I love the striking bright markings on the dark leaves, which reminds me of a Batman a little bit. I got this one when I went to buy this table actually, and since then I had to try different spots around the flat because she wasn't happy. Now I think she likes this spot where there is a lot of light but no direct sunlight. And also, as I learned, this tropical plant grows from underground corms, so it makes sense that it doesn't like too much sunshine. And now actually it even have flowers. They don't have a vibrant color, so they are not so noticeable, but it blooms from time to time. And this one is one of the poisonous houseplants you might have in your home, so remember to keep it away from children or pets that may eat or bite the plant if you decide to have this plant at home. Further along, on the side of my desk, there is a new baby pothos hanging from the side of the table, waiting to be hung by the window or maybe from the ceiling by the window. So let's see how that works out. Next is another propagated golden pothos. Rounding out my studio plants is one of my orchids. I really like the pop of color that they add to the home, and I think it's a nice plant to have in your art studio. And I have other plants around, but this is the rundown of my studio houseplants. So I have read that studies show plants can improve your mental health along with other activities. A little disclaimer here, I am not a specialist, but aside from actual therapy, which is a valuable tool for mental health, there are many other ways to support your well-being. Engaging in activities like mindfulness, regular exercise, spending time in nature, and taking care of plants can all contribute positively. And while we are talking about plants indoors, they can improve your mood, boost air quality in your house, and also promote your mindfulness. My dream is to create a small, lush jungle studio space for my creative work and my maybe future animals to explore, maybe a cat and a dog. It can maybe be artist studio greenhouse. Well, anyway, let's see if my future animal friends will want to join me in my dream art studio jungle. What do you think? Would you also like to have a kind of jungle feel in your art studio? Or have you thought about adding some new green friends into your studio or home? Or do you have a story about the ones you already have? I would love to hear that. So please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!